Are you exhausted all day?
Yes!
Do you feel and sense that you're being attacked,
Yes!
but you can't get to the root of it?
Yes!
Do you wake up with scratches
Yes!
on your body, have nightmares?
Yes!
Maybe you're having perverted sexual dreams and you've not done anything to bring that upon you. You're not looking at pornography. You're not
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Listen, these are all potential signs of nocturnal warfare.
These are all potential signs of nocturnal warfare.
Widows, boss of ghouls, how you all doing? Today, I'm going to ask you a question, or a series of questions. Do you get tired? Like, ever? Do you wake up groggy? Do you have bad dreams? Do you have weird dreams? Do you have rude dreams? Or any sort of dream where your brain just does this usual late night nonsense? Well, if you did, congratulations, because according to today's video that we're looking at, you are under an active supernatural attack. Now, I started watching this video, and then I quickly just looked at the transcript, because wow, is this type of content dangerous. So I've got the transcript open in front of me. I'm not going to play any of the video from this Jennifer LeClaire, because this type of content is very dangerous to people's mental health and diagnosing via the fear of religion. Stick with me. So, if you get to the end of her video, by the end of her video, you will not need a doctor, you will not need a therapist, and you will not need a sleep specialist. It's just demons clocking in for the night shift. So, as I said, this video comes from Jennifer LeClaire, and she is promoting something called nocturnal warfare. And you'll see why this annoyed me so much the further to the end of her transcript that we get. Because it's all about money. And before anyone says it, no, I'm not attacking religion, I am not attacking Christianity. This is about fear-based spiritual content that's doing the rounds, and has been for years, but it can seriously mess with people's mental health, especially vulnerable viewers. Because what this lady is selling, and I mean selling, it's not faith, it's anxiety. And it's anxiety with a checkout or a store page at the end of it. So the video opens and it lists symptoms like exhaustion, poor sleep, nightmares, scratches, sexual dreams, feeling attacked but not knowing why. Which is interesting when you think about it, because I'm not a psychologist, but, you know, life experience tells me that what she is actually describing as this spiritual warfare is stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, insomnia, or generally just being a human being in 2026, because this year ain't off to a great start. What she's doing I would describe as symptom confetti, and it takes me back to a Chris Rock joke from the early 2000s where he was talking about medications. Obviously, celebrities were being diagnosed and given pills and then not surviving and stuff, and he made this joke about the TV and how the TV is turning people into drug addicts. Like, do you wake up in the morning? I got that. Do you sleep at night? I got that. Do you not sleep at night? And there's adverts at the time were basically all catered to if you have this symptom, which pretty much every person will have, you need this pill. And that's what this lady seems to be doing. What she's doing is she's throwing out enough vague common experiences where the viewers, especially the religious viewers, at some point will go, whoa, that's me. I've got that. Give me what you've got. Give me what you're selling. And not because there's something wrong with these people, they're normal neurological and psychological experiences. Sleep is a weird thing. And the next section of the video is where it all gets, well, dangerous, because instead of saying, hey, these things all have a lot of causes, the video reframes them as spiritual attacks or demonic attacks. Bad dream, demon. Sexual dream, definitely a demon. You woke up tired, absolutely demons. But if you watch the video or if you read the transcript, I'll tell you what never comes up is anxiety disorders, trauma responses, sleep paralysis. Most of us have suffered sleep paralysis. Not mentioned. Must be a demon. Intrusive thoughts, stress hormones, therapy, the PTSD, any normal thing in the world that you could go to a GP or your local health practitioner for help for is all reframed as demonic. So why would she ignore things like anxiety disorders and sleep paralysis? Well, those explanations don't sell the course, or the deliverance course that she is selling at the end of her video. And then about 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the video, or into the transcript, you can read it for yourself without watching the video, one of the most harmful parts of this entire thing is how this video treats sexual dreams. Sexual dreams are involuntary, they're normal, they're extremely common. Your brain just, it runs these random simulations while you're unconscious. But here, they're getting framed as some sort of perverse sexual demon. What a fantastic way to bring shame to people, to worsen maybe OCD symptoms, or worse still, make people afraid of their own human natural thoughts. Now, imagine if you're heavily religious, or if you deal with religious guilt, which a lot of people do. The framing in this video, it can make people spiral, because you're not going to wake up being like, whoa, that was a weird dream. You wake up thinking something is wrong with you because this random lady on the internet is selling you a course. What she's promoting, in my opinion, isn't spiritual care. What she's selling, in my opinion, and I'm allowed an opinion, is psychological damage. And so she moves on into advice that she gives out to people, and the viewer is told to constantly monitor their sleep. Their dreams, their energy levels, their thoughts, the children's sleep, and their bodies. She's teaching hypervigilance. And hypervigilance is one of the fastest ways to worsen insomnia for a start, increase your anxiety, and possibly bring on some panic symptoms of the thought of sleep. Ironically, what she is doing, or this belief system that she is promoting, is creating the symptoms that she is claiming to be able to cure for money. For example, after watching a video, you watch it, the last thing you watch, you go to bed, and this niggling thought is in your brain. A demon could attack me while I sleep. Congratulations, you're about to have the worst night's sleep ever. For example, I suffer with sleep paralysis. 9 times out of 10, discussing it brings on an episode of sleep paralysis. It's not a demon, it's my own brain. And so the board of bullshittery comes out, and we've got the unfalsifiable loop, and I will explain that to you via the board of bullshittery. So, if you're still tired, it's not stress, it's not worry, you've just identified the wrong demon. What about if you're feeling better? Well, course worked, of course. What if the symptoms return? Well, that is simply just another attack. What about no symptoms whatsoever at all? Well, then, you're finally protected. The course worked. Hallelujah. Praise the lady. In all of this, in all of the transcript, in all of the video, there is no scenario where the belief itself is questioned. That's not spiritual warfare. That is what we could call a closed psychological loop. And if you think that's not bad enough, there's an escalation in the video. Children. Nightmares, night terrors, and sleep issues with children are completely normal. They're part of their development and they're extremely common. But here, they're being framed as some form of demonic oppression, which means now your kids are terrified, your kids are hyper-vigilant, and you're projecting your own fears onto your children. Imagine that you're a kid, or imagine it's your kid, and your kid is struggling with sleep. And then on top of struggling with sleep, they're told, something attacked you last night. At your most vulnerable. The bed sheets don't help you. Congratulations, you just created a lifelong anxiety associated with sleep in your children. This lady scares the shit out of you. She will scare the shit out of your children. So only after she fully establishes fear in you, the viewer, and your children, then we get a course, a series, a free class that's designed to lure you in to... It's a tunnel into the paid content. Or a funnel, sorry, into the paid content. It's a massive conflict of interest. Because the scarier your problem is, the more valuable her solution becomes. In my opinion, she's selling fear. Fear is her product. The biggest issue here isn't belief. It isn't your belief. It's misattribution. When people are taught that anxiety is a demonic attack, the dreams are demons, the fatigue is some sort of spiritual warfare, these people are less likely to go and get help. They're less likely to seek therapy, talk to a doctor, address their trauma, or learn healthy coping mechanisms. Instead, they're being told to blame themselves, fear their own minds, and become dependent on this apparent spiritual authority. Now again, this is all my opinion as an outsider looking in. I am not a psychologist, but if a belief system turns exhaustion into possession, dreams into demons, and anxiety into warfare, it's not protecting your mental health, it's feeding on it. And it's feeding on it for financial gain. And let's be completely honest here. When fear is the fuel to the fire, there's always somebody selling the extinguisher you need.
These are all potential signs of nocturnal warfare.
So no, sleep isn't the battlefield. Your mind isn't the enemy. And if the solution costs $99.99, maybe the demon isn't the problem. Do please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I know this is a very different video for me, but there's only so many clips of dust orbs going past the camera I can look at. And then I was looking for, or I was researching demons and demonology. I've got demonology books, I've done a demonology course, and then I was like, I wonder what YouTube demonology and demonologists are doing, and, well, we found it. They're selling fear for $100. Much love to you all. Beardo out.